All right, lots of stuff is happening, still going, still working at it. It's time for update number 2. Let's get to it. Now, if you're as fascinated as I am by the incredible diversity of life that surrounds us in our wonderful and often bizarre natural world, then you belong here with me. I make videos on all facets of nature: aquariums, reptiles, isopods, insects and arachnids, unique plants, vivariums and terrariums, and all sorts of DIY projects. And I try to do something, I try to dig a little bit deeper into the science behind it all. So if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button, as well as ringing that notification bell, and you'll always be kept up to date when I upload new content. Now, the one thing that we haven't done yet is we've got to go and take care of getting all the plumbing just for this one tank. The paludarium's not going to necessarily need it, but I could easily tap it in if I needed for a drain system. The beast vivarium. That's easy enough. If we want to drill a hole inside the wall of it or something like that, we could easily tap it in. But basically, we're going to be installing an ABSP, a drain that's going to go right over top of that electrical there, and it's going to come through, and it's going to go through the wall, and it's going to drain through the wall to where our floor drain is right there, that thing on the floor there. And the other hose that you see there is actually the drain system from the 160, the 60s already, the existing system. Sorry for all the light. It's early in the morning here and the sun's just starting to come up. So, but when you look at it, it's a 6-foot tank, right? There's the filtering system, and then there's the pre-filter box. So on this side, the pre-filtering box is going to be in that corner. So that means that's where the drain's going to be, and it's going to maintain the water level inside that box. We'll show it to you later, but inside that box, the back of that box is drilled, and there's a fitting which maintains the water level. So anytime there's water level over and above that, it goes down passively to the drain system. So basically, we're going to have a straight pipe that's going to go down there. It's going to be loose. Then we're going to have a 90-degree, 1.5 PVC to the wall, 1.5 PVC out, and then it's going to go through, but it's got to go through in a very certain spot, and I'll show you guys that in a second. This is going to be the fitting, so that's going to be the 90, and then this portion here is going to go right through the hole through the wall. We're going to cut the hole. You can see I've got the hole saw ready to go, and then that's what's going to go through the wall. We'll cut it to exactly to fit. And on the other side of it will be this, and this will attach directly onto the pipe, and then this will go onto the hose, then it'll go to the actual drain itself. Now I'm just going to show you in the back what it looks like in the back and why it has to be done in exactly a specific spot. So my basement does not have a furnace. My basement, even though we live where we live, way up here in the north, and it's cold, this is a radiant floor heating system. So basically, my floors in my house are heated using water. And these different pipes, the two bottom ones, there's the reds are the hots, and then the blue ones are the returns. And they go through this little tiny furnace boiler system, and that's basically my whole system, and it runs using a little tiny pump. It's very, very efficient. It's awesome. It works really, really well. This portion right here, somewhere right around here, is where we're going to have to come. And that's about 2 feet off the ground. And that's a solid 2x6 that's mounted there, and just on the other side will be the drywall. This being the reservoir for our reverse osmosis unit. This is going to be moving in the new setup. It's actually going to be where the isopod rack is now on the other side of the door. But basically, we're going to have to drill a hole through here. I'm going to put a pilot hole through so I can see where it's coming through on the drywall on the other side. And then we're going to bore through on the other side to come through the wood. And then it'll come through, and then it'll just be a nice passive drain right to the floor drain, which is right over here. And the passive drain's fully in place there. It's at a nice angle for good drainage. And once the stand goes back in place, the tank will be about here, about this height, about 24 inches above, and then it'll drain down into that little stand pipe there and go straight through the wall. And then on the other side, we'll have a soft hose attached to that that'll go on the floor to the floor drain. Easy and passive. Now for these two tanks, the two big 160-gallon tanks, my daughter got a gigantic dollhouse she ordered with all her Christmas money, and the box came surrounded by all sorts of pieces of styrofoam. We've had a few other things that have come that have had these large pieces of styrofoam, and I've just kind of been putting them aside and saving them. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go and do one of those nice DIY rock background or river wall background sort of thing, because one of the tanks, as you guys know, is going to be kind of a riverine West African tank, and the other one's going to be something Central American. But I want to make the tanks that the backgrounds are adaptable, depending on, I could change it up down the road and it'll still look like it still means something in there. The big tank, when we start building the 12-foot tank, once this room is done, that tank will be a bit different in the fact that the type of stuff that we're going to put on that one is going to be a bit more specific. So the background that we'll build into that one will probably have like tree stumps and roots and stuff attached to it. We'll figure that one out when we start building that one. But for now, I want to basically build the same type of background as I have, that I used to have in my 70 gallons. Let me show you one of those. Now you don't really see much of it in the tank because this is that temporary 70-gallon tank that's set up for the buffalo heads. There's some of them right there. There's babies all throughout the tank. There's a little baby right there. And then all the swordtails are still in here. This is just set out temporarily right in the family room. But that background is one of those universal rocks backgrounds. These ones are, they're put inside the tank, but they actually have magnets on the back. And I'm told now they don't even come with the magnets because the magnet price is so high. But mine, I have 2 of them, and I've sold one of the 70-gallon tanks, so I still have one of the backgrounds. They're fairly expensive, so I had no intention of really getting rid of them. But I want to try and recreate one of those in each of the 160s. So let's go take a peek at what it looks like outside the tank. Now bear in mind, this was just literally taken out of the tank. So this whole section here that's covered in algae and duckweed, this could easily be washed off. I'll have to pressure wash it and clean it right up. But otherwise, when you look at this background, it is pretty slick. It's got lots of texture. It mimics kind of a rock wall, but honestly, even in that planted tank with the buffalo heads, it just vanishes and just hides everything. But when you flip these things over, they're just a resin type product. So it doesn't look like much on the background. It's just a poured resin thing. There's one of the magnets. This is a 48 by 24 Rocky was the product that they called this one. And then this basically just stood in the tank. Gravel held the base, and then the top was held on by these 4 red earth magnets. And I've had these things for years. I think they're wonderful. I absolutely love them. The minute you go to one of these style types of backgrounds and you put it in a tank, I don't think you'll ever be able to go back to the little ones that you just stick on the back of the tank. I think they're fabulous. So I'm thinking for the 160s that we might build something along this lines, but without resin or anything like that. Is basically we'll do it using the styrofoam method. I've got a pile of it. Maybe even the thing we'll do is that I'd like to be able to build the background that it shrouds and completely covers the overflow and then that whole back. So they're going to have to be built in place because there are a couple of overhead braces. So it might be a bit challenging because we're going to build it out of styrofoam and then we're going to encase it with sand and like a quick type product, and we'll stain it and paint it, and it'll all be water safe, fresh water safe without any issue. So looking forward to getting that done. But we're going to have to do one tank, set the fish up, do the next one. Lots of projects ahead in the Mad Aquarist's Lair. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Honestly, it wasn't anything exciting. I realize that. It's more just updates of what's happening in the Lair, what we're doing to get ready to give you guys more content. If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button. Give me a like, give me a comment, share videos out with your friends on your different social media platforms. And if you want to help me even more, support me through my membership program, through the Facebook memberships. There's all sorts of different levels and different perks. We're just starting it. We're getting unrolled right away. So it's hopefully will be some fun. We'll be able to give you guys something a little bit more special. So as always, my friends, till next time, take care, stay safe. See ya.